It's another great day on the Innovation at Work radio show. If you have listened to the show for a while, you know one of my favorite things to do is talk about future technology, future tech trends. You know, what are some of the things that we're doing now and starting to do now that will likely determine what industries are doing down the road. You know, we've had the Future of the Cinema series, and that was pretty fun. Today we're going to talk about kind of the trend of viewing patterns. What are people watching? Are they sitting down and watching their TV as much? Are they, I guess TiVo is pretty popular. Are people using their DVR to watch things whenever they want to? Or are we obsessed with YouTube? And so I'm fascinated with this because my patterns I think I evolved a lot earlier than a lot of people. I remember a while back we got a Dell computer, and this is several years ago, and it had a video out. So we went ahead and set up our desk for the family close to the TV, to the big screen TV, and with the video out, we just ran it over to the TV. And so for the longest time, we've watched stuff on our computer on the TV. I guess, it's not always convenient to have the computer up close to the TV, but we've done it for a while and we've enjoyed it. And so as we've gotten more and more options of viewing different, sometimes high-definition programming on the Internet, we're watching it on our high-definition TV. I wonder how many people are doing that. In any case, this is going to be a fun show because someone that's going to be very familiar with some of these patterns and that has a tool that's going to help some of us that have evolved. Jim Lanzone, the CEO of Clicker.com. Jim, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
I'm glad you could be with us. This is pretty exciting because this is an area that is really in flux. It's evolving as we speak, and there aren't a lot of tools to help the folks that want to make that shift. They don't want to just sit in front of the TV. They want kind of the dynamic content from the Internet. Tell us a little bit about Clicker.
Well, Clicker was originally funded in 2008. I used to be the CEO at Ask.com, formerly known as Ask Jeeves. We kind of ushered Jeeves out during my time there. I came from the search world, and after I left, I was looking around, and one of the projects I looked at was, what would TV Guide look like as television, as you described, started to move online? It was originally created in 1951 when there were just 3 networks. And even as recently as the 70s, there were just 12 channels that you would turn with a knob. And yet TV Guide was worth more than the 3 networks combined because people felt it was so valuable. But if you were creating it today, what would it look like? As everything moves online, you start to enter a world of infinite video on demand, and it's no longer about when things are on. It's no longer about a schedule, but it's about where they're on, or whether they're on online, and how you can find them and how you can watch it. And so we spent the better part of a year building Clicker to be that next generation programming guide.
And really a little bit ahead of the curve because at that time you really didn't have as many options to watch really quality content online. I mean, you had some and you had some that were in development, but it was still pretty early on.
It was early. I'd say the tipping point really was the 2008 election, and the same way YouTube's tipping point was the Lazy Sunday video from Saturday Night Live. The Sarah Palin Saturday Night Live videos really started making NBC.com and Hulu take off. And, I'd say that ushered in the top of the first inning for the next era of television. And now we're actually tracking 2,500 separate, let's call them channels or networks online. And it's everything from NBC.com or ABC.com to Hulu, which is more of an aggregator, to, National Geographic or Discovery Channel online. But then you have all these amazing websites, and it could be the New York Times, which has incredible cooking videos. But, there's not room for those on regular television that exist online only. Or Zach Galifianakis from The Hangover has an incredibly funny show on a website called Funny or Die, which is a great comedy, but only available online. And so now we actually have about 1 million different episodes, let's call them, but it also includes movies and music videos that are available to watch online. So this is really starting to blow up now and changing the way people watch television. They're watching a huge amount of it on the Internet now.
And you know what, though, there's some issues, I think, that come with that. Content overload. I mean, there's so much. Everything from the kind of taking that trip down memory lane and finding those TV shows that you used to like when you were a kid. So those are now available online. And then this new content that is, the last night's show that you missed on TV. Then you've got, like you said, online only. So trying to sort out not just what's out there, but with the limited time we have, what we want to watch. This seems like it's going to be pretty complicated. Any tips on what tools are there to help people determine, what they should really be watching? This seems like it could be a hassle.
Well, I look at that two ways. One is you're right, and that's why Clicker was created. We're all about navigation and discovery. So we're not the place that you would watch the video. We're the place that gets you to the place you want to watch video. And that also makes us a great place to discover what's worth watching. And we do that with all kinds of algorithms and technologies to recommend to you shows that are related to the show you're already watching. So if you're watching Charlie Rose, then we will recommend Time Magazine has this great online version where they're doing an interview series. Katie Couric has an online-only interview series. And so we can recommend those right next to the show that you're already watching. If you're a fan of Seinfeld, we'll recommend It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, which you may never have seen, but is kind of a kindred spirit with Seinfeld. So we'll help you discover that. And then we have a playlist function that kind of operates as a DVR almost online, where you can save all these shows. And in the very near future, we'll open that up so that you can see what your friends are saving. You can make your own list and start to share them. So that's one way.
So now the integration with friends, I think that's going to really come in handy, because through that communication with the folks that really sometimes know you better than you know yourself, you might be able to start getting a good idea of all the things that are out there. Here are some things that I probably want to put towards the top of the list. There was a gentleman on Facebook that said, "Hey, Winston, listening to you post all these things, you need to watch this show, Fringe. I think you're going to love that." Haven't had a chance to watch it yet, but I really think that integration with Friends is going to help people kind of narrow down what they want to pay attention to.
100%. And so, the same way a lot of my friends follow me on Twitter, Jay Lanzone is where to go to get TV recommendations. They'll start following me on specific websites like this. But also, we really think that, I use that word kindred spirits between shows, but I really think that exists between people. I mean, how many of your friends do you have the exact same taste in music or TV with? It's probably a little more with TV than music. But really, there are people who kind of have profiles that kind of are very similar to yours. And we want to help you discover those people as well and get the benefit of understanding that. So that hasn't launched on our site yet. That'll be in the near future. But
I want to hear more about that. And there's some other news that I understand has been announced and some that's on the way. We'll discuss that more in just a moment. We're going to take a quick break. This is the Innovation at Work radio show. I'm Winston Edmondson, speaking with Jim Lanzone from Clicker.com. Pull it up, Clicker.com. Pretty interesting site. And we'll be right back.